we have got all the KERBEUSes in the Pro Series Stadium, and we're going to find out which one's the best by having all the KERBEUSes fight each other. So comment down below who you've got in today's video. Okay, obviously hit like, hit comment, hit subscribe. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe today. Join the AJV channel. When we hit 10,000 subscribers, I will show my entire Beyblade collection. And even if you don't want to see that video, there's still other videos every single day that we post of Beyblade, okay? So I'm sure you'll find a Beyblade video that you'll like at least once, maybe twice a week, okay? But anyway, let's get into this match. So how it's going to work is we're going to have, basically, the K1. Now I have to put wing, I have the single one, I don't have the double pack one, so sorry about that, but it's winged fusion. But anyway, so it's going to start off like this, and then it's going to go like basically like this, okay? So basically it's going to be like this, okay? And then it's going to be like, then it's going to be, hold up. So it's going to, yeah, it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be this, and then it's going to be this, okay? Does that make sense? All right, let's get into it. Here we go. First match of the KERBEUS battles here. We've got K1 up against K8 here. 7 generations apart from each other. But Hasbro nerfed Chain KERBEUS that much that K1 could beat him in a first to 5. Let's find out. And yes, he can. 1 point. K1. Let's continue here. KERBEUS K1 up against KERBEUS K8 here. Now I'm going to have a water break, so there's going to be no more commentary for this round. Okay? And again, KERBEUS K1 takes it. This is what happens if we launch KERBEUS K1 first here, up against KERBEUS K8. So far, not looking good for KERBEUS K8 here. Are we serious? 3-0. K1 wins again. Also, be sure to stick around for the final round of this video where we have all of them face off in a first to 1 winner takes all match, okay? So stay tuned for that. So far not looking good for Chain KERBEUS at all. And 4-0, K1. Let's continue. KERBEUS K8 up against K1 here. Can K1 make a 5-0 here? That would be insane. The first evolution to beat the final evolution of KERBEUS. That would be insane if we get a 5-0 as well. And yes, KERBEUS K1 does it. Looks like we're going to have to downgrade a bit into Hazard KERBEUS. Okay, let's do it. We've got Atomic now, so it should be harder for K1 to win here. But if K1 beats everyone, that would be quite embarrassing for the KERBEUS lineup, for the original to beat all of them. So obviously Hazard KERBEUS is battling to not be embarrassed here by the Mini Bay. Okay? Now, I do not have the Hypersphere KERBEUS, so sorry about that, but he's not available in Australia. I couldn't find him at all. So yeah, 1-0 KERBEUS. So far KERBEUS K1 is just showing that evolutions aren't better, which is very weird. Oh, there we go. First win over K1 right there. One more. Right, so it's 1-1. We're tied up here. Can KERBEUS K1 stay in the lead here? Or is that atomic drama too much? And it looks like it is. First time we've had a KERBEUS besides K1 in this video get ahead of K1. K1, K2, K4. What am I talking about? K4. And K1 all over K4 here. Does K1 know what it takes to beat as a KERBEUS? It has a KERBEUS 3-1. Let's continue. KERBEUS K1. KERBEUS K4 does a missed one. If KERBEUS K4 does that again, it will be 2-3. So like I said, who do you think is going to come out on top of that final round at the end of the video, you know? Which KERBEUS? I'm probably going to probably say Guardian KERBEUS. I think Guardian KERBEUS is going to take that final last round matchup. 2-4 right there. 2-4, which is very interesting. KERBEUS K1 so far holding up against other KERBEUSes. I'm not sure if that's a bad or good thing right there. A lot of people could consider that as a bad thing, that the first evolution is still competing with the other KERBEUSes, which means they haven't evolved that much really from the Hasbro side of things. It has a KERBEUS right there, takes the win, beats KERBEUS K1, which means can Guardian KERBEUS take down K1? Let's find out. Alright, let's do it. Guardian up against K1, KERBEUS. Just KERBEUS K1 up against Guardian. Guardian versus KERBEUS. Who you've got in this, who do you think they'll win, like overall? Guardian KERBEUS, you know, is a sleeper, very underrated band from the Hasbro side of things. And takes the win right there. And we're going to have a no-cut round for this round. Because why not? Okay. Okay. A little bit of power there from K1. It's very hard to commentate on such like a slow match, you know? And Guardian KERBEUS again, 2-0. Right there for Guardian KERBEUS. Okay, we got some power right there from KERBEUS K1. Okay. And KERBEUS K3 again, 4-0 right there. KERBEUS K1 so far has met its match for the second time in this video. Right here. Is it going to be a straight flush? Is this going to be it? And Guardian KERBEUS takes the win, which means we're going to have KERBEUS K1 up against King KERBEUS. Alright, let's do it. Alright, let's do it. King KERBEUS up against KERBEUS K1 here. And a burst to start it off. K1 so far doing pretty good against other KERBEUS. K1, K2 right there. King KERBEUS up against KERBEUS. Right here. And a burst again, 4-0 K1. Alright, let's continue here. KERBEUS K1, KERBEUS K2. Can KERBEUS K2 make a comeback? King KERBEUS. KERBEUS is the TT version. Can King KERBEUS beat down KERBEUS here? Or is KERBEUS K1 just too good for K2? And 5-0 right there, KERBEUS K1. Did pretty good up against other KERBEUSes, but let's see how good King KERBEUS can now go, and his first opponent is going to be Guardian KERBEUS. Alright, so I would call Guardian KERBEUS a more of an evolution bay. So let's see, can the God Series bay beat the dual layer? And a burst to start off right there, Guardian KERBEUS 2-0. Guardian up against King right there. I tilt launch King to hopefully try to avoid some of the hits, because King looks like it has the weakest burst resistance out of the bunch. And a burst 4-0 Guardian KERBEUS. Guardian King. Stunned my toe there. Alright, King KERBEUS lost again and nearly burst in as well, which means we're going to have to go for now Hazard KERBEUS. Can King KERBEUS beat Hazard KERBEUS? Alright, let's do it. Hazard up against Guardian and a burst! That is all she wrote right there. Hazard KERBEUS 2-0. Hazard King. A knockout again, a clean knockout 3-0. So far King KERBEUS has had a miserable time so far against the other KERBEUSes. Well, very Russian roulette type of battle right there from King KERBEUS right there. And again, 4-0 Hazard KERBEUS. Hazard King right there. Is this going to be the end of King KERBEUS right here against Hazard KERBEUS? Are we going to have to go to that final bay? And yes, we are. Hazard KERBEUS 5-0. So far, King KERBEUS has not beaten any KERBEUS. But let's see if Chain KERBEUS can change that. Probably not, but let's find out. Chain, King, right there. And the size difference is just ridiculous. Like, look at that size difference. Perhaps that scraping could benefit King KERBEUS right there. 1's a point to King KERBEUS. Chain up against King right there. Maybe King can get underneath Chain KERBEUS and potentially make him scrape like we saw in the first round and get his first win against the KERBEUS. And maybe this is it for Chain KERBEUS. Maybe this is the King KERBEUS win, perhaps, in this video. 2-0. Alright, let's continue. Chain up against King here. Now King's got to be careful and not get too excited because that burst resistance is just not there compared to the other KERBEUS's. So you got to watch out for that. And also, any KERBEUS fan in the chat, tell me. And that burst finish right there, 2-2. Alright, let's continue. Chain up against King. Now, I think it makes sense if Chain was like if they swap names, you know, like the final evolution of KERBEUS could be like King KERBEUS, you know? And 3-2 right there, King KERBEUS still proving that he's still got it. Can King KERBEUS get his first win in today's video? It looks like it might happen here with him avoiding the hits here of avoiding contact. That's all you got to do if you're King KERBEUS. Avoid contact as much as possible and just slowly win this. And Chain just took it 3-4. Alright, it's 3-4 here. Is Chain going to crush the dreams of King KERBEUS here? Or is King KERBEUS going to take his first win of the video? Let's find out. Oh, it's 4-4. Alright, here we go. This is the final round between these two KERBEUS's here. Is Chain gonna crush the dreams of King here, or does King have the defensive power and the stamina to take down Chain and get his first win of this video? Let's find out. Chain just took it, man. King KERBEUS did not win a single matchup. Okay? Which means we're gonna have to go now. Guardian KERBEUS up against Hazard KERBEUS. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. And a big knockout right there, that atomic driver helping with the aggressiveness of Hazard KERBEUS. 1 point, Hazard KERBEUS. Chain up against Hazard here. And K back is a B. Payback is a B right there, 1-1. Can Guardian KERBEUS keep this going here? It is 2-1 here. Does Guardian have what it takes to take down Hazard? Three to 1, Guardian KERBEUS. Okay, Guardian avoiding. Hazard came out the gate strong and then just absolutely, it's blown up in his face completely at the moment. Four to 1. Alright, let's continue. Hazard up against Guardian here. Can Hazard get a comeback going? Or has Guardian got the Guardian defense to take down our Hazard KERBEUS right there? Very defensive matchups between all of these bays. It's very hard to commentate for this long on all the bays. So sometimes I'm taking a breath because it does hurt my voice when I talk this long. And it is over right there, which means we're going to have to evolve Hazard KERBEUS into Chain KERBEUS and see if Guardian can beat Chain. Guardian, Chain. Like I said, who you got in the final round of... Who you got in the final round? The very final round of this video where we're going to have all the KERBEUS face off in a best of 1. Guardian KERBEUS first point. Man, Guardian KERBEUS is just too solid in 2 rounds. Be beaten 2-0. Guardian up against Chain here. Chain's been struggling against basically all these bays here. Which is very shocking. I didn't think that Chain would have such a struggle against the KERBEUS. I thought that like size advantage would help, but apparently it's backfiring massively into a 3-0. Chain in the center, Guardian goes around and around. Is it going to be 4-0? It looks like it's going to be 4-0 here. And yes, it is 4-0 Guardian KERBEUS. Alright, let's see. Is Guardian going to be able to finish this off here? Most likely. I mean, when it's 4-0, it's very hard for the other base to get any type of comeback, I would say. And Guardian KERBEUS takes the win, which means we're down to our last 2 KERBEUSes here, which is Hazard up against Chain. Who's going to take the final, well, the second last match of this video? Well, my money's on Chain. I mean Hazard, not on Chain. My money's on Hazard. That atomic driver, I reckon, is just too good compared to that yard, quad drive, quad strike. I just got proved wrong. Chain KERBEUS. Okay, here we go. Hazard, Chain. Okay. It looks like Chain's actually got some juice to it. 2-0. So this has been very surprising, all of these matches. Like, I didn't think that K1 would be able to beat all of them, basically, and it basically did beat all of them. And after the miserable performance that Chain KERBEUS put up against other bays, you would not expect a 3-0 lead against a KERBEUS with Atomic. So is Chain going to be able to make this a 4-0 lead against Hazard, which I was not expecting to say that at all. I thought Hazard KERBEUS would have this in the bag, that Atomic driver, but apparently not. But it is Hazard KERBEUS' first point, 1-3. Hazard up against Chain KERBEUS. Right here, Ken hasn't started a comeback here, or his change is too far ahead of Hazard KERBEUS. Or Hazard does it again, 2-4. They're really trying to battle off because they know this is the final one-on-one against each other, and it's going to be a lot harder to win a 5-way matchup in the final round of this video. Is this over? It's over. Chain KERBEUS beats Hazard KERBEUS, which means we're going to move on to our final round, which is going to be a 1-to-1 with all of the KERBEUSes that stood. Okay, let's get into it here. Guardian, Hazard, K1, K8, and K2. We've got all in the stadium here. Who is the ultimate KERBEUS? Surely not K2. K2 is the ultimate KERBEUS.